Beyond Barriers, the revolutionary power of Black entrepreneurship. Good morning, everyone. I stand before you today, both humbled and electrified by a conversation that has fundamentally shifted my understanding of entrepreneurship in America. Recently, I had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Mitzi Walker, a visionary whose work transcends traditional business development to become nothing short of revolutionary. Mitzi isn't just a leader, she's a paradigm shifter who has dedicated her life to dismantling the frameworks that limit how we conceptualize Black success in business. Her groundbreaking research and fearless advocacy have created pathways where others saw only dead ends. Through her work, thousands of Black entrepreneurs have found not just resources, but a radical reimagining of what's possible. What makes Mitzi truly exceptional is her refusal to accept the conventional narrative, her insistence that we look deeper beyond the surface statistics to recognize the extraordinary potential hiding in plain sight. The conversation I had with Mitzi didn't just inform me, it transformed me. And that transformation is what I want to share with you today. We've all heard the narrative, haven't we? The story of what's missing, what's lacking, what's broken in Black entrepreneurship. These stories aren't false. The challenges are real and significant. But what if they're dangerously incomplete? What if, in our focus on deficits, we've been blind to something extraordinary? Here's the counterintuitive truth that emerged from my conversation with Mitzi Walker. While we rightfully acknowledge the barriers facing Black entrepreneurs, like the shameful disparities in access to capital and representation, the data reveals something remarkable that rarely makes headlines. Black founded businesses, when given equitable resources and support, don't just survive, they frequently outperform expectations in terms of innovation, community impact, and yes, profitability. Let that sink in for a moment. Despite making up fewer than 10% of all entrepreneurs in America, Black founders are driving transformative change by creating business hubs and pioneering entirely new models for professional collaboration. This fundamentally challenges the narrative that underrepresentation is solely a deficit. Instead, it highlights an untapped well of resilience, creativity, and economic potential within our communities. I'm not suggesting we ignore the very real challenges. That would be not just naive, but dishonest. But what if these obstacles paradoxically have fostered unique strengths? What if the very act of navigating an uneven playing field has created capabilities that others never had to develop? Let me take you to Charlotte, North Carolina, where something remarkable is happening. The Innovation Center there represents a fascinating revolution in community driven solutions. After devastating cuts to federal funding and grants, local Black entrepreneurs faced a critical shortage of centralized resources. This could have been just another story of disinvestment and decline, but that's not what happened. Cafe Dawkins of the Charlotte Mecklenburg Black Chamber of Commerce saw possibility where others saw only problems. Under his leadership, the community mobilized to create something extraordinary, a one stop hub offering co working spaces, retail opportunities, distribution support for small businesses, event venues, food halls, and even specialized tech programs for farmers. This wasn't just about providing physical space. It was about creating an ecosystem where business owners could connect with resources critical to their growth. It was about reimagining what community infrastructure could look like when designed specifically to address the unique challenges faced by Black entrepreneurs. The center didn't emerge from nowhere. It was inspired by similar initiatives in Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Durham. But what makes it special is how it was tailored to Charlotte's specific needs after those local funding cuts. They've already secured the building purchase, launched a $3.7 million fundraising campaign and are poised to open within the year after renovations. The expected impact, a significant boost in local entrepreneurship rates. But perhaps more importantly, it serves as a replicable model, empowering other cities seeking economic parity through community driven infrastructure. This is what Mitzi Walker emphasized in our conversation, the power of community driven solutions. These aren't just about providing space, they serve as launch pads for economic empowerment, collaboration, and sustained growth within Black communities. But let's be clear eyed about the challenges. A comprehensive analysis by the National Bureau of Economic Research highlights persistent gaps faced by Black entrepreneurs across every stage of founding startups. The numbers are sobering: 22% lower rates of new business formation compared to white entrepreneurs, 20% higher failure rates. Less than 2.4% of venture capital funding goes to businesses run by Black or Hispanic founders. And only 4% of general partners at venture capital firms are no Black. These aren't just statistics, they represent real barriers to innovation, wealth creation, and economic mobility. They represent dreams deferred and potential unrealized. Yet, even here, there's a surprising insight. The same research shows that exit rates among female founded venture backed startups have outpaced overall market averages. This suggests something profound. Investing equitably yields strong returns if barriers are addressed early on. This is what Mitzi Walker calls the opportunity within the challenge. When we create targeted interventions that address specific barriers, we don't just help individual entrepreneurs, we unlock economic potential that benefits everyone. Decades of tracking show slow but steady improvement as more organizations recognize the need for intentional inclusion strategies at all levels, from seed investment through scaling and exits. We're seeing incremental increases in minority founder participation and leadership roles within major investment firms. This matters because representation at every level, from startup founders to venture capital decision makers, is essential. Increasing diversity among investors directly correlates with improved outcomes for underrepresented founders. It's not just about fairness, it's about effectiveness. Now, let's look at where Black entrepreneurs are making their mark today. In 2023 and 2024, key industries where Black entrepreneurs excelled included real estate, professional services, manufacturing, food and beverage, and transportation and warehousing. What's remarkable is how these entrepreneurs succeeded in breaking into traditionally exclusionary sectors while contending with resource disparities compared to their non minority peers. They did it by leveraging community networks and resources such as chambers of commerce or affinity groups like BDPA. They formed strategic partnerships enabling market entry and successful scaling even amidst broader industry headwinds. Many of these success stories began during pandemic disruptions when necessity drove creative pivots and new service offerings tailored specifically toward underserved markets. This adaptability, this ability to see opportunity where others see only crisis, is a hallmark of Black entrepreneurship that Mitzi Walker highlighted repeatedly in our conversation. These successes have helped reshape perceptions around what industries belong to whom, demonstrating the versatility and adaptability inherent within the entrepreneurial spirit found throughout African American communities. But here's where I want to challenge our thinking even further. What if the greatest barrier to Black entrepreneurial success isn't external at all? What if it's the narrative we've internalized about what's possible? Mitzi Walker posed this provocative question during our interview. What would happen if we stopped seeing ourselves primarily through the lens of disadvantage and started recognizing the unique advantages our experiences have given us? This isn't about denying reality or minimizing challenges. It's about expanding our vision of what's possible. Consider this quote from Audre Lorde that Mitzi shared with me. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. This perspective shift doesn't eliminate structural barriers, but it does change how we approach them. It transforms obstacles from dead ends into detours. It reframes setbacks as setups for comebacks. The entrepreneurial journey for Black professionals is uniquely challenging due to systemic inequities in funding, mentorship, and industry access. That's undeniable. But these obstacles also foster remarkable adaptability and innovation. They require creative problem solving and resilience that become competitive advantages in a rapidly changing economy. As Mitzi Walker told me, the very skills you develop navigating an uneven playing field become invaluable when you're building something new. You've already learned to do more with less, to find unconventional solutions, to build community around shared goals. These are precisely the skills that define successful entrepreneurs. I want to leave you with a thought provoking question that emerged from my conversation with Mitzi. How might your own journey shift if you sought out or helped build the kind of supportive ecosystem exemplified by Charlotte's Innovation Center? What would it look like if you viewed every barrier not just as an obstacle, but also as an invitation to innovate differently? The data is clear. When Black entrepreneurs succeed, entire communities rise. When we dismantle the barriers to Black business ownership, we don't just create individual success stories, we create economic engines that generate jobs, wealth, and opportunity throughout our communities. We create models of possibility that inspire the next generation. So I challenge you today, reject the incomplete narrative. Recognize the revolutionary potential of Black entrepreneurship, not just as a matter of justice, though it certainly is that, but as an untapped reservoir of innovation that could transform our entire economy. If you're an investor, examine your portfolio. Are you missing opportunities by following old patterns? If you're a business leader, look at your supply chain, your partners, your advisors. Are you connecting with the full spectrum of talent now available? If you're a policymaker, are your initiatives addressing the specific barriers that the data clearly shows are holding back this enormous potential? And if you're an entrepreneur, especially a Black entrepreneur, I want you to hear this. Your journey isn't just about overcoming obstacles, it's about developing unique strengths through them that others may never have the opportunity to build. The very challenges you face are forging in you capabilities that the market desperately needs. The question isn't whether Black entrepreneurs can succeed despite the barriers. The evidence shows they already are. The real question is how much more our entire society could benefit if those barriers were removed. That's not just a question of equity, it's a question of untapped potential. It's a question of what we're all losing when we allow these barriers to persist. The revolution in Black entrepreneurship isn't coming, it's already here. The only question is whether you'll be part of it. Thank you.